Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today because we're about to tackle one of the most fascinating, mind bending paradoxes of the human experience. Seriously, have you ever stopped to wonder why two people can stand in the exact same room, go through the exact same situation, and yet walk away having experienced completely different worlds? It's wild, right? How can identical facts create entirely opposite emotional realities? What is the actual root of that massive disconnect? Well, today, we are asking why people see the world differently through the lens of Iman, or faith. We're going to pop the hood on human perception and see how a deeply rooted internal framework doesn't change the physical world, but completely rewires how we read and experience it. Let's dive right in. All right, Section 1, same event, different view, the absolute power of perspective. To really wrap our heads around this, let's step away from high-level philosophy for a second and look at a super relatable everyday scenario. Picture this. You've got two students at the same school. They sit in the same room, sweat over the exact same exam, and a few days later, they get handed back the exact same failing grade. The math, the external data, it's identical. It's an F. But look at what happens inside their heads. The first student stares at that red ink and just completely spirals. They're thinking, well, it's over. I'm a failure. I'm never going to bounce back from this. All they see is a suffocating dead end. But the second student? They look at the exact same piece of paper and go, okay, ouch, that really stinks. But what does this actually show me that I need to fix? They literally see a roadmap for growth. The outside event hasn't changed one bit, yet they are living in two vastly different realities, entirely dictated by their internal framework. Moving into Section 2, two men entering a country. Let's look at the allegory of the two men. So now that we've seen how this works on a small scale, we need to zoom way out. To grasp how deep this really goes, we're going to pull from a brilliant allegory found in a classic text known as the second word. Imagine two men stepping off a train into a brand new, totally unfamiliar country. Now, the first man arrives with this profoundly dark inner world. He's carrying chaos and a sense of meaninglessness inside him. And you know what happens? He projects that right onto the world. To him, everything out there is ownerless, random, and frankly terrifying. He looks at a bustling city and just sees a giant, chaotic place of mourning. But then, look at the second man. He steps off the exact same train into the exact same country. The difference? His internal state is grounded. He acknowledges a creator, Allah, he possesses a solid moral compass, and he knows the truth of his reality. Because he has that internal structure, he looks at the very same landscapes in the exact same crowds, and he sees a masterpiece of divine order, purpose, and absolute harmony. Let's make this even more concrete. What happens when we apply these two mindsets to massive, universal human events? Take a birth, for example. The first man, stuck behind that dark, chaotic lens, sees a baby being born and actually twists it into despair. He thinks, great, just the beginning of more pain in an uncaring universe. It's totally bleak. But the second man sees that exact same birth and reads it in a totally different way. He doesn't see a victim of a random universe. He sees a new soul being joyfully called to duty, stepping into a world with a beautiful purpose and a specific role to play. And wow, this contrast gets incredibly heavy when they face the ultimate human anxiety, right? Death. For our first man, losing someone is absolute annihilation. It's violently permanent, a meaningless plunge into the void. It is nothing but pure, unadulterated tragedy. But the second man reframes even this. Because his framework is so deeply rooted, he doesn't view death as a horrific dead end. He sees a peaceful transition. He sees a soul that has wrapped up its assigned shift in this world and is gracefully passing on to the next realm. Again, the physical event is identical, the math is the same, but the lens completely transforms a terrifying abyss into a purposeful continuation. Which brings us nicely to Section 3, Beyond Optimism, getting into rooted faith. So here is where we really need to pivot, because it is entirely too easy to misunderstand this. What exactly is this mindset causing such a massive shift? We have to be super clear here. We are not talking about superficial positivity. You know the type, the whole good vibes only, toxic positivity thing. Plastering a fake smile on your face and saying, don't think bad, think good, is practically useless when life hits you hard. A simple good mood will completely shatter the second you face a real tragedy. True perspective, the kind that lets you look failure or severe hardship or even mortality straight in the eye with grace, that requires way more than a good mood. It requires a heavy, unshakable, deeply rooted framework. And that unshakable anchor, the source material defines it as iman, or faith. This right here is the ultimate answer to why people see the world differently through Iman. We have to elevate this concept way beyond self-help mantras. Iman is a structural foundation for your entire reality. It's the conscious, deeply held acceptance that this world actually has an owner. It's knowing that your life isn't just some random biological accident, but it has distinct, beautiful purpose. And yes, it's the certainty that there is a continuation beyond physical death. This is the ultimate lens. It takes all the chaotic, overwhelming, scary data of the outside world, filters it, and masterfully reorders it into wisdom and total peace of mind. So, what does this actually look like on a random Tuesday? Let's connect this right back to your daily life. When you operate with Iman as your framework, everything shifts. You stop taking your daily stressors as proof that the universe is out to get you. A sudden, painful loss, it gets reframed as a profound learning opportunity. A massive roadblock in your career, it's not a dead end anymore. It literally becomes a deliberate training ground for your patience. Hardship stops being this random, cruel punishment and starts looking like purposeful redirection. Just think about a hassle you dealt with recently, maybe a fight with a friend or a money issue. Did you just see a wall, or could there have been a lesson in patience and responsibility hiding in there if only you swapped your lens? Let's get practical in section 4. Apply it to your life. Getting a new eye. Okay, I absolutely do not want to just dump abstract philosophy on you and walk away. Let's turn this into something you can actually use. I want you to try this super simple 2-step exercise the second we finish this explainer. Step 1. Think of a real, upsetting event you're dealing with right now and write down just the raw facts of the difficulty. Strip away the emotion, just write the uncomfortable truth. Step 2. Now, look at that exact same event through the lens of faith, purpose, and responsibility, and write down what it could be trying to teach you. What is the hidden wisdom under all that stress? I promise you, this little exercise proves that this framework isn't just distant theory. It is a wildly practical tool to take back your peace of mind in literally any situation. Which brings us to the core thesis of our whole journey today. If you only remember one thing, let it be this. The world sometimes remains unchanged, but when the eye looking at it changes, its meaning changes completely. The external stuff, the bad grades, the tough days, the crazy cycles of the world, they might not shift a single inch, but the literal second you change the internal eye interpreting them, you step out of the dark and into an entirely new reality. So, I'm going to leave you with a question to chew on. What specific event are you going to look at with a brand new eye today? You possess the incredible, literal power to change your world right now just by changing your framework. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Go out there, give that exercise a shot, and see how your reality transforms. I'll catch you in the next one.